Hi, Year 7. So this is Mr. Smith again, and we're going to continue learning about how to expand and factorize brackets. So first up, we've got our starter for today's lesson. So this is now on the board. Please pause the video now and take about 10 minutes to answer these 6 questions, and we will go through them on the following slide. Thank you. Hi, so the answers to the starter are now on the board. Please use your green pens to mark your work. Give it a tick if you got it correct, give it a cross if you got it wrong, but please write in the correct method if you did not get the question right, so you'll know what you are doing for the next time we encounter similar questions like these. Now, please take a ruler, split your page in two, stick the starter on one side, and then on the other half of your page, please write today's date and the learning objective. Thank you. So the LO for today's lesson is to know how to expand an algebraic single bracket. So this means that it's now an algebraic term outside the bracket. But it's the exact same process as what we did last lesson and what we've been doing the last couple of lessons. So firstly, we multiply everything outside the bracket by everything inside. So we do the whole 5b term multiplied by 2a. So we get 5b times 2a. So we can look at that as 5 times 2, so the coefficients of each term first, and we get 10. And then b times a just becomes ba. And now we have 5b times 3, so that is 5b times 3, and it's the same as 5 times 3 is 15b. So the final answer is 10ba add 15b. Now please pause the video here and attempt the first we do for me, please. So remember to use your green pens to give yourself a tick or a cross if you got the we do correct. So in this instance, we do everything outside the brackets multiplied by everything inside the brackets. So first up, we do 4d times 3a. So 4d times 3a. And that's the same as 4 times 3 and d times a. And we get 12. And we get dA. So we get 12 dA. So the coefficient of d is 4, the coefficient of a is 3, so 4 times 3 is 12. And then the two letters, when you multiply them together, become dA. And then we do 4d multiplied by 5. So 4 times 5 is 20, so we have 20d. So the final answer is 12 dA add 20d. So now for the following I do, we have a similar process again. We do 5b multiplied by 3 and we do 5b multiplied by minus 2a. So 5b times 3 equals 5 times 3 is 15b, and then 5b times minus 2a. 5 times 2 is 10. B times a is just ba, because when you write ba like that, it means b times a. So all we've done is got rid of the times sign. And then we've got to remember that we've got a positive number multiplied by a negative number, so that means our answer is negative. So therefore, our answer for this question here is 15b, take away 10ba. Now, please pause the video here and attempt the first we do. Thank you. So in a green pen, please, or give yourself a tick if you got this right. If you didn't, write down the method for me, please, but you should have done 4d multiplied by 5 and 4d multiplied by minus 3a. So you do 4d times 5. 5 times 4 from your times tables is 20. So 5, 10, 15, 20, D. And then we do 4D times minus 3A. So 4 times 3, so we have 3, 6, 9, 12. DA, because they're the terms, and then minus 4, because it's a negative times a positive. So our answer for this we do, and give yourself a tick if you got it right, is 20D, take away 12DA. Excellent. Alright, so now we're going to do another example, and this time our term outside the brackets is 5b. So we're going to do 5b multiplied by 3, and then we're going to do 5b times minus 1a. So 5b times 3 is 5 times 3, 15b. Then 5b times minus 1a, 5 times 1 is 5. ba is just ba. And then it's a positive times a negative, so you have negative 5ba. And now please pause the video here and attempt the first we do for me, please. Thank you. Okay, so what we should have done for the we do is 4d multiplied by 5 to get 20d, and then 4d times minus 1a to get minus 4da. Okay, now on to the next I do. This time again we have the bracket, which we need to expand, and we have the full expansion, so we need to work backwards. So here we have the term 20ax. So that's got an extra a in there, so I'm actually going to look at this term here, the second one, add 12a. And I know I started with 3. So if I do 12a divided by 3, so 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then we still have that a there, of course, so 4a. So that means that this must go in here. So if we put a 4a there. And we can check that quickly by just doing 4a times 5x. So if we're doing this here, which is how we'd normally expand it, and we would get 4 times 5 is 20ax. So now please pause the video and can you attempt the second we do for me, please, in your books. Okay, excellent. So second we do is in the same style as the first one. So I'm going to look at this term here and the expanded version. So I know that the coefficient has gone from 2 to 6. So if I do 6a divided by 2, or you can look at that as 6a over 2, or half of 6a. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then we still have the a there, so that's left there. And then this 3a must go in here. Okay, so we can check that again by doing 3a times 4x. We get 3 times 4 is 12ax. Excellent. So we've got a few more questions here in the same style again. We've got one of the terms missing in our brackets at the beginning here. So, but we know afterwards we have 4ab and we have 4a before it. So if we do 4ab, so what we get when we've expanded our brackets, divided by 4a. Here we can do some cancelling out. So we have an a on the top, so we can cancel that out. We have an a on the bottom, so we can cancel that out. So remember, when you have a fraction, whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. And we have a 4 on top and a 4 on the bottom as well, so we can also cancel them out, leaving us with just b. So if we put b here, that is our answer. And again, we can check that by doing the factor outside the bracket multiplied by b. So 4a times b is equal to 4ab. which is what we got. Okay, so please pause the video here and attempt the we do for me, please. So the we do, give it a tick if you got it right, was the same as the previous I do, and the answer was B. So we did, to work that out, we took this 3ab term and we divided it by the factor outside the brackets. A's on both sides, on top and the bottom, on the denominator and in the numerator. And there's a 3 in the numerator and the denominator as well. So that leaves B. So 3a divided by 3a goes to 1. So it's actually 1b. And it was the same over here. 4a over 4a is actually equal to 1, in the same way that 3 over 3 equals 1. Okay, but the answer is B. So now on the following question, we have the factor outside the brackets and it's negative this time, so it's minus 4a multiplied by something gives us minus 4ab. So we need to work backwards. So we have minus 4ab, that's our answer to our expansion, divided by minus 4a, and let's do some cancelling down. So we can cancel out the negatives first. There's one on the top, one on the bottom. Cancel out the 4's, and then we can cancel out the a's, leaving b. So if we do minus 4a as a check times b, we get minus 4ab. So now on to the next question. So we want to work out what goes into these brackets here. We know what's outside and we know what we get. So we get minus 3ab. So to work backwards, so that times that. We want to do minus 3ab divided by minus 3a. Cancel down. So our negatives cancel, our 3's cancel, and our a's cancel to leave b. And then we can check that by doing minus 3ab over minus 3a times b equals minus 3ab. So we have here a few more examples, and this time we want to collect the like terms at the end, I believe. So for now, it's the exact same as before, but there are 3 terms inside the brackets now. So we're going to do 5b multiplied by 3, 5b multiplied by a, and then 5b multiplied by 7c. So 5b times 3, 3 times 5 is 15, add the b, and then we've got 5b times minus a. So 5 times 1 is 5, a times b is ba, sorry, and then it's minus because it's a positive times a negative. And then we also have 5b times minus 7c. 5 times 7 is 35 bc, and it's negative. So the final answer is 15b, take away 5ba, take away 35 bc. Okay, please pause the video here to attempt the first we do, and remember it's the exact same as that I do I've just done there. You want to multiply the factor outside the brackets by every term within the bracket one at a time. Thank you. So to work out the answer for the first we do, we had to multiply 4d by 5, 4d by a, and then 4d by minus 7c. So 4d times 5 is 20d. 4d times minus a. So you've straight up positive multiplied by negative, so you've got a negative there. 4 times 1a is 4, and then dA is there left. And now we have to do 4d times minus 7c. So again, positive times negative. So we get a negative. 4 times 7 is 28. 7, 14, 21, 28. And then d times c is dc. Okay, now on to the next I do. It's the same process again. We do minus 5b times 3a minus 5b times minus 2a, because remember that's a minus, and then we do minus 5b times minus 7c. So 5 times 3 is 15. B times A is just BA, and a negative times a positive gives a negative. 5 times 2 is 10. BA, so we get BA, and then a negative times a negative is a positive, so that is 10BA, positive 10BA. And then we have 5 times 7 is 35. B times C is just BC. But now we have minus 15 BA add 10BA add 35 BC. We need to group our like terms here. So we've got minus 15 BA and we've got an add 10 BA. So if we think back to our number lines or how we deal with negative numbers, we've got minus 15 add 10. So that means we're going from a negative place and we're getting more positive. So minus 15, minus 14, minus 13, minus 12, all the way until you've added 10. And you get the answer minus 5 BA add 35 BC. Please pause the video now to attempt the we do for me, please. Give yourself a couple of minutes here and then I'll run through it quickly. So for the we do, we should have done 4d minus 4d multiplied by 5a minus 4d multiplied by minus 4a and then minus 4d multiplied by minus 7c. So minus 4 times 5 will give us 20, and it's a negative number because the negative times a positive. So minus 20 dA. Minus 4 times minus 4 would give us 16. It's a negative times a negative, so that becomes a positive, and then it's dA. And now we have minus 4 times minus 7, or 7 times 4 is 28. Negative times a negative, so it's a positive dC. We need to collect like terms. We've got two terms which have a dA in them. We've got a minus 20 dA and an add 16 dA. So minus 20 add 16. You could write that another way. You could do 16 take away 20, but regardless the answer is the same. The answer is minus 4. So it's just being familiar with your negative numbers, know which direction you're moving in. So minus 20, when you add a number to a negative number, you get closer to 0. You essentially make the number smaller. So the answer here for the final answer, and give it a tick in your green pens if you got it right, is minus 4. Because now that we've simplified it by collecting the like terms, minus 4 dA add 28 dC. So now we've just got, I think, one more set of examples. So for this I do, we're going to do 5b times 7c and then 5b times minus 3a. We're going to do that first before we do anything with this term here, because we've got to remember BIDMAS. So we have brackets, indices, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. And brackets come first before anything else when you're doing orders of operations. So first step, 5b times 7c. So you get 5 times 7 is of course 35 bc, and then 5b times minus 3a. So 5b times minus 3a. 5 times 3 is 15. A positive times a negative is negative, and then ba. So it's really important to remember that a positive times a positive equals positive. A negative times a negative equals positive. But then a negative times a positive, or a positive times a negative, equal negative. And if you remember those rules when you do your multiplication, that should help you a lot. So the answer for this one, if we go back to this question, for when we've expanded the brackets, is 35 BC, take away 15 BA. Remember to add 15 AB, because that's what's left. And now 15 AB is the exact same as 15 BA. They've just got the letters in a different order. So that means these cancel out, because minus 15 add 15 goes to 0. So the answer is 35 BC. Now please pause the video for a couple of minutes and attempt the we do for me, please. Thank you. Remember what happens when you multiply a positive by a negative, and remember to group and collect the like terms at the end. So with our green pens, please write down this method or give yourself a tick if you got it right. First step in this question is to expand our brackets. So we would have done 4d times 5a to get 20 dA, and then 4d times minus 4c to get minus 16 dc, and then notice this here, we've got add 16 dc. So for our question we get 20 dA. So for our brackets expansion, minus 16 dc, add 16 dc. So minus 16 add 16 goes to 0, so we're left with 20 dA as our answer. So now we're going to move on to some extended practice. Please pause the video here for about 10 minutes and attempt the following 12 questions for me, please. Remember to take note of the sign in front of the term, and remember like what happens when we cancel down, say, and how to simplify and group like terms. They have to have the same letters in them. Okay, so these are the answers for the following 12 questions. Use your green pens, give yourself a tick or a cross if you got it right. If you got it wrong, write down the answer, please. Remember now that whenever we work in our books, we should be writing down the question and then our working out and then the answer. So even if you didn't get the question right, when you write in the correct answer, it should still help you for your revision and stuff when we have tests. And we have another 8 questions here. Please again pause the video for about 10 minutes and attempt these questions for me, please. So using our green pens, please go through the answers for the following questions. How did you get on? Which ones did you get right? Which ones did you get wrong? Make sure you give yourself a tick or a cross, and maybe give yourself a score out of 8 so you know how well you did. So we have here another 8 questions. So this time we have algebraic terms outside the brackets. We have negative and positive numbers and different terms inside the brackets. Remember to simplify your like terms at the end once you've expanded your brackets, and you should be fine. So using your green pens, please give yourself a tick or a cross if you got the questions correct. Let me know how you got on. Give yourself a score out of 8. If you got the wrong answer, please write in the correct one. Thank you. So I think this now is our final set of questions. So we have 9 questions here. We want to fill in the blank. So we either want to work out what we're multiplying our bracket by as we expand it to get the answer on the right, or we want to know what was inside the bracket originally that we multiplied by. So you want to start backwards. So remember, for this one, say, for question A, you want to know what you multiply 2x by to go to 6ax. So you could work backwards by doing 6ax divided by 2x and see what happens. And then that will give you your factor. So these are the answers for the previous 9 questions. Please give yourself a tick or a cross if you got them right with your green pens. If you didn't get the answer correct, please write it down. Do you know where you went wrong? Are there any parts that you need to touch up upon in Hegarty Maths when you do your homework later? Please let us know. So that is the end of today's lesson. Hopefully now, moving forward, you are feeling a lot more confident when it comes to expanding brackets and what to do when there's an algebraic term or isn't. Please let us know how you're getting on with this, and remember to do your homework on Hegarty Maths, and thank you very much for your work today.